Hello.
Hello, everybody. This is Donna Bach.
And I'm Gary Grosbeck, and we're going to talk today about the awakened mind and how we can create more flow in our lives.
So, the question that we'd like to answer is, how do you learn how to be in these higher states of consciousness, such as flow and creativity? And how do you get there? And how long does it take to learn?
So, what I'm going to talk about today is a particular state of consciousness that we call flow. And flow is considered to be an optimal state of consciousness. And the awakened mind actually is the precursor for the flow states. When you look at flow, there are 17 triggers for flow, and 4 of them are mental states. And what I want to do is walk us through very briefly the various steps that we go through in changing our brainwave states and preparing to get into flow. And then we'll show that how that is related to the awakened mind. So I'm going to put up a share screen right now that will show a little graphic. And hopefully everything works the way it's supposed to.
And as a naturopathic doctor, there are quite a few of the neurochemicals that are in each one of these flow states, and you'll be able to hear about those also.
Okay, so what we're going to start with is first the beginning of a flow state. We have some sort of struggle going on, some way of challenge that's just on the edge of our abilities to deal with it. Now, this has been for hundreds of centuries been studied and looked at, for instance, say in martial arts, in the sword fighting training called kendo, in which you use a bamboo sword called a shinai. They slap away at each other for hours on end until they finally get themselves out of the way. They get whacked so many times, they just kind of give up the struggle, and all of a sudden they drop into this flow state where they can block every sword blow that's coming towards them without even thinking about what they're doing.
Like a Jedi warrior with their lightsabers.
Exactly.
Where they don't just try to feel the force, they also let the force be in them, which then helps them to predict what's going to happen. And that's what we can do in everyday life when we have the flow state.
So you notice how the Jedi warriors block every little bullet or flash of light that's coming at them with their sword without even thinking about it. So this is when they've gone into a flow state, and the beginning of that flow state, of learning that flow state, is having this challenge. And so
it goes from a fast wave, from the beta waves, down into an alpha wave, which is slower in the release phase.
Okay, so this phase up here is beta. This is a faster rhythm. This is where we have the release of
the
neurotransmitters of adrenaline and norepinephrine. And this is where you feel a little bit jangly, a little bit anxious, a little bit worried. This fast beta up here is the monkey mind. It's the internal critic. It's overthinking. It's overtrying. And eventually you give up and you drop down into alpha. The alpha is the release phase, and it takes us into creativity. And that alpha rhythm then begins to slow down, and we move into actual flow, which is a theta. So when the theta begins to come out equal to what's happening with the alpha, we begin to drop into that flow state. And this is also coupled by what's called a high gamma, or a very fast frequency. So it's the combination of the theta rhythm with the gamma rhythm that really drops us into that flow. We're out of the struggle, we drop that out, we've relaxed completely, and we just allow things to begin to happen in our subconscious mind, and that sort of overmind, you might say, begins to react. And you begin to move into that kind of flow. Now, something that happens afterwards is if people feel a bit exhausted, and they often go to sleep for a recovery phase. However, with the awakened mind, you have the delta rhythm also coming up to meet the theta and the gamma rhythm and the alpha rhythm all at the same time. So you're not, it's not necessary to fall asleep and to recover. You're actually recovering during the process that you're working on. So this is actually the sequence of developing an awakened mind. When we do the neurofeedback or the training, we have you calm down the beta, increase the alpha, increase theta, bring in the gamma, and bring the delta up.
It's a 5-step process, and usually it takes 2 days in order to go through the process where we do the guided exercises to exercise each one of these brainwaves and help you to know how it feels so you can do it yourself at home later.
So this is what you'll be getting. You may be wondering, how long does it take to learn this? It depends on where you are when you come in. Some people have been doing a lot of meditation, and they may find it easy to slip into these states, or easier. On the other hand, if you've been most of the time up in your struggle phase of beta, it may take you a little while to relax and get down into the other states, but everybody can learn. It's like learning how to play the piano or do any other skill. This is basically you're learning a new skill set, and it depends on where you are to begin with and what your sort of innate talent is in learning this. But usually 2 days is enough time for people to begin to learn this.
So we're happy to get to spend time with all of you who are able to take one of our workshops, whether it be a 2-day experiential or something more of personal nature, which we can customize just for you. And we're looking forward to being able to share this in person. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time around.